1965 Federal Lands, Jobs, and Energy Security Act that will provide the necessary data on the impacts of oil shale development on water quantity and water quality. And I'm introducing for the record, Mr. Chairman, the U.S. Drought Monitor dated July the 16th, put out by USDA, National Drought Mitigation Center, Department of Commerce, and NOAA, plus a map showing where these drought, the shale and the drought coincide, so you'll be aware of what we see, what we're talking about. And to the record, Mr. Chair.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, sir. The Colorado River, by all accounts, is a system where the water demand exceeds the supply. Water supply for more than 30 million people in 7 western states. It irrigates nearly 4 million acres of land. It serves as the lifeblood of 15 Native American tribes and many communities. It supports 7 national wildlife refuge, 4 national recreation areas, and 11 national parks. The demand for water are further complicated by a decade of drought in the West and the climate change. The Bureau of Reclamation's Colorado River Water Basin Study and demand found that in one of the scenarios assessed, and I quote, water supply in the Colorado River could decrease by 9 to 20% by 2050. If oil shale is developed in the Colorado River Basin, the water demands will only increase and change the western slope as we know it. A 2008 Bureau of Land Management programmatic oil shale environmental impact statement concluded, quote, by shifting the water from agriculture to oil shale development would likely transform communities in western Colorado from agriculture-based economies to industrial economies. Similar changes are projected for eastern Utah. October 2010, Governmental Accountability Office report found that while water may be available during the initial development of this resource, there have been very few studies that document the long-term viability of oil shale development and its impact on water supply. The tremendous amount of water that's used by oil shale development and gas development is tremendous. And in areas where there's already a shortage, it is something that we need to start looking at. A most recent report by CIRAS and WRI show that 40% of the wells drilled in the United States for shale energy are located in river basins with high or extremely high risk of water stress. There by the map. The amendment is simple. It authorizes the director of USGS to complete a study and prepare a report and document the potential impacts of oil shale developments on water quantity and water quality available for agricultural and municipal use prior to the implementation of the Act. The study would also help to provide states of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming with baseline information on water supply and oil shale development that they can use in managing their state's waters. I ask my colleagues to support my amendment that would study the long-term viability of oil shale in relation to water supply. And with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentlelady yields back her time. The gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Lamborn, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I oppose this amendment. Being from Colorado, I understand water issues very well, and I understand the concern. I appreciate the gentlelady's concern about the quality and quantity of water. However, you can develop energy and you can develop water at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. We can and do that here in America. In fact, technology is constantly increasing to get more bang for the buck out of every drop of water. I find it curious that when we talk about biofuels energy development, which use massive quantities of water, no one's calling for studies there. So I find a curious discrepancy. Time and time again, we're told that industries in the West can't operate because of water issues, and we've repeatedly proved them wrong. Developing oil shale resources is a way of contributing to our nation's energy needs and creating jobs and increasing revenue. The Department of Energy estimates that with new technology, oil shale can be developed with 1 to 3 barrels of water per barrel of oil. And that's an amazing correlation. I don't know what other sources of energy use per equivalent BTU, but that's an amazingly low amount of water. Further, the USGS is already gathering data regarding water and commercial-scale oil shale development. So this amendment is redundant and requiring the USGS to spend money to conduct a new study, which will take a long time to produce, is a waste of money and would hold hostage this bill and the technology and the energy that it would produce until that study is complete. So